This morning we're getting ready to feed the puppies, but I wanted you to see already at 3 months old. Watch this. Go take a look. Watch this. I want everybody to sit down before I feed them. So the only one that I'm waiting for is Grizzly and that's Grizzly. Come on, Grizzly. Sit down. There you go. That's it. 3 months. Look at that. 3 months. Very good. Very good. Hello everyone. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to actually be working on feeding the pack, and the pack is actually grown since last year, meaning that we've had the addition of the puppies. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you basically how we feed when we're working with the smaller ones. Now what I've done in the past with the puppies is basically ask for everybody to give them space, and what we've also done is as they've gotten older and they're able to get on the feeding table, what I've asked is that they are basically the first ones to eat, so that way everyone sees them as a high priority because they're the first ones to eat. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and feed, but the other thing is that they've finally been integrated into the group, meaning that they are now eating with the adults. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and feed everybody, but I also wanted to show you how the process is done. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and clear the table, but I also want to allow the pups to be up here only, okay? So out of the three, what I'm looking for is more of what the Sears gives me, what Patch is giving me. I mean, I've got Gizmo, bouncing around, but the thing is, I don't want to feed that. I'm not going to feed someone who's not, doing what this guy's doing right here. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the Sear. Patches. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make him wait just a little bit, so that way, he calms down just a sec. Alright, so now that we have the pups going, now we're going to go and start setting up the bowls for the adults. Alright, so right now what I'm going to do, now that the bowls are done, now I'm going to start looking for the ones that are the common ones. So that means they're going to be either sitting down, laying down, waiting patiently, looking at me, waiting for me to call them. Good. right about now, the pups are actually about 5 months old. So already at 5 months old, I'm already treating the pups like the adults. They're going to start following the same rules, which they've been doing since they've been, been here, and I've been working with them. So even though that they're still puppies, I don't treat them as puppies anymore. I mean, I did when they were about 2 months, about 3 months. I started laying off, and then about 4 months, I started treating them a little bit more like adults. Of course, they had, a couple of advantages over the adults, but for the most part, I did start treating them like the adults. So, so now at about 5 months, they're pretty much in their preteens, and then once they hit their 6 months, then they're in their teenage phase, and that right there is the big problem in most cases when you have a dog who's going to about 5 to 6 months and they get into their preteens. So I'm expecting for my guys, Nasir and Gizmo to start coming up and testing me on a daily basis, of what they can and can't do. Like Alaska, she's been here since '08, so I mean the older members, they have an understanding of like, okay, there's not a lot that we can get away with, but I know the younger ones are going to start, testing my authority just like normal kids do. So while we're doing this exercise, I have to be sure that the pups are not going into anybody else's bow. If they do, then they forfeit their bows. If they cause a disruption, then that's a void of their bows. If they jump off for any reason, they forfeit it. I want them to understand that when you're fed, this is that moment where you eat. Nothing else matters to you. Eat your fill. If we're doing bonus bows that day, then by all means, that's what we're going to do. Now, when I mentioned bonus bows is basically when I give them their bow like I just did, and then after they finish, if I think, okay, let's have seconds, it's a good day, or I can go ahead and provide seconds, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and let them finish their bow, and then once they finish their bow, it'll be empty. So what I've got them to do is actually to ask for seconds, basically. So what they'll do is they'll go ahead and eat their bowls, and then what they'll do is they'll sit down without me saying anything, and that right there, lets me know, I would like some more, But they're being calm, they're being polite, they're sitting down, they're waiting. So I mean, that right there is what I've taught my guys, Of course, I mean, I have to show them what it is that I want in order for them to get what they want. But I really don't have to say anything anymore, as far as that goes. Now, one thing that I do when I'm doing this is that I will go up to their bows and actually, push it forward toward them. One of the reasons I do it is because I want them to get used to me being around food. I don't want them to snap or think that I'm trying to steal their food. All I'm doing right now is basically letting them know that, hey, there's no need for you to worry about, the food. It's there, it's yours. I'm not taking it away. I'm basically offering it to you, so that's why I normally do that. Usually, if they've got a little bit left in their bowls, what I'll do is I'll grab the bowl and kind of lean it toward them, so that way everything goes into the bottom of the bowl as it's on its side, and that way it's a little easier for them to eat. So now Gizmo's finished, so I'm going to go ahead and ask him to leave the table. So now I'm going to go ahead and select the next one. Darren? Now the reason I chose Baron was because he was sitting over here in the corner, calm, quiet, wasn't making any ruckus or anything. So that's why I chose him. So like Patches just got done eating, but she didn't actually necessarily, finish her bowl. So, if they don't finish their bowl and they walk off the table like I said, I'm assuming that they're done. It's not like a plate of food that they're wasting. I can just go and just put it back in the bin and feed it to them later. But as far as I'm concerned, she's done. She's vacated the, like you can see, every time somebody finishes, they start removing themselves so that way they can start opening the slots for somebody else. It's kind of like a Thanksgiving dinner, where everybody's, you only have like 8 seats, but there's 20 people visiting you for the holidays. So you're gonna get the important people or the seniors or the kids. You're gonna go and feed whoever's gonna get fed first, and then after they get done with their plates, and they go ahead and get out of the way, so that way they can go and offer those seats to everybody else who's still waiting to eat. Jackson? Ginger? Now, if anybody has ever seen the videos that we've had in the past, this is Ginger from Ginger's Post. Ginger was, and actually she's actually the month dog that we have on my Facebook page. Ginger's story comes from